And we're live. Bam. There we are. There's a voice and a dude. What's up, everybody? Thanks for showing up. Appreciate you, appreciate you, appreciate ya. All right, so today I've been really contemplating how I'm gonna. I want a vise that can sit right here. I don't want something extra complicated. Kind of want to make it myself, so I'm just gonna make a wedge vise right here that I can clamp on and off this bench easy. So yeah, I'm gonna do that. And y'all want to watch? That's what we're gonna do. Woo forever, for sure. Thanks for joining us, Steph. We're gonna start off. I already got some pieces here that this first version, I'm gonna kind of make this piece reversible. I've already cut this. I did this yesterday and put a little stop right there. And the goal of that was to be like boom, 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 right? But a couple things happening. One is that this is not the best scenario for this. If this could just fit here and hold on its own, that would be ideal. And why wouldn't I do that anyway? Like that should happen. So I'm going to do that today. I am going to do a little trick on this piece right here that I think is going to work out good. And then this is just going to be our scrap that we're going to keep planing over and over, maybe even put the spoke shave on. Because the other thing that I wanted to do is like a draw horse, right? But I don't want to build another full bench in this shop. I'm running out of space. And I don't like clutter, and I don't like things sitting in the corner that I only use every so often. So I'm thinking about just making a reverse wedge vise where instead of push, you can pull, right? So I'm going to figure it out. Absolutely, Tim. Sort of shooting boardish. Yeah. But like I already needed a board anyway that I was gonna do so that I could, sort of shave and like, the kind that Rex Kruger and everybody makes with the board here, and it's a fairly simple apparatus. But I'm thinking maybe if I make one that's exactly this width, that I can use both ways, if that makes sense. Or I might just make two jigs because I'm kind of freestyling. So let's see what we got. Lions, what's good, man? Terrence, what's going on? Thanks for showing up. We're talking wedges for now. Yeah. We're gonna do some real simple wedge vicing right now. And so I'm going to start with what I've already got in place. And let's just do that right there. Let's just cut him right there. Then we'll have two pieces. And we can lock one on. We can put one in. Let's see what we can do. Let's go cut this. And I think I'm going to do it table saw. I'm going to try and do it over there if I can get you a decent view of that saw. Lions, Rob, chat, all the cool folks in here, and I'm glad you are. What's going on, Larry? How you doing today? Thanks for joining us. I should use this like this, I just don't trust that. That's dangerous. So So we're gonna go over to the table saw. I said that we are gonna go over to the table saw, meaning the few of us, the you and I's, you, me, and all the blokes with their terrible accents. All right. Table saws are easy as long as they don't cut your finger off, right? With mine, let me show you what I did. This is the easiest table saw sled ever made in life, right? Only got one little rod trailer right there. If I put it on this side, it gets me right next to my blade, right? If I put it on this side, it gets me right next to my blade. It's all wood. It slides easy. It doesn't matter what the temperature is. It does fine. It never binds up. People get really a little bit overly concerned about slop and things like that with these things. If you get it pretty close, you can always get some slop, but you can always just put slight pressure to one side or the other and then keep it. See, if I put pressure to that side, I'm touching my blade. I don't want that. So that's as tight as you can get. And you might notice this. That right there is just good old-fashioned sandpaper, and it's been glued there for 4 years, right? Because I've used this before I even made that. And all I'm saying to you is you don't need big giant jigs, big giant, unless you're like a cabinet builder, and I happen to be a cabinet builder, and this is all I've used. Anyways, I'm gonna leave. See, I'm doing that angle cut because of this sandpaper. I can put this on and hold it. It's gonna stay put. So what I'm gonna do is just put this on, line my big red line up along this same edge right there. Make sure I'm good and snug. I can let it sit right on this back edge here, right? I'm gonna raise my blade to a height that'll accommodate both the wood and the height of the sled. And we're gonna turn this on. I always stop it with my leg, with my hand still securing my piece. I usually stop the second I finish the cut because I don't want the risk of that maybe kicking back or anything else. But I left that line intentionally just so you can see you cannot get more clean, more tight than that. Very simple jig. Very simple jig. I'll do a short on it maybe today and put it out. If you want to build one. Took me maybe 2 hours, maybe. I was freestyling that. So, not to worry. This stuff ain't so bad. Ain't so hard, cool. Yeah. Put my light source back. All right. Can you see? Doo-doo-doo. Brian, stop for the Wu-Tang pendant, sub for the woodworking. Bam. Daps to you, Brian. Appreciate you, son. Appreciate you. All right, so here we are with a pair of wedges and a dream of woodworking. Let's go that way. That way. And then that wedge tightens as we go, right? That's where our stuff would be. So let's say in theory, boom, we're here and we're here, fixed. And then we wedge that thing in there. If it doesn't push that away, then it locks it in. And I'm kind of good to go. Now, how do I not? I want this to be simple. I want it to be a couple of pieces that I can move in and out. I need this to be the smoother edge. I think that is the smoother edge. That's kind of rough. We're gonna work on that too, I guess. This edge is rough too. Let's just take them both over to the. Let's just take them both over. We're freestyling this, so we gotta stop and rethink, retool, readjust whenever we need to. So I'm gonna run these edges clean real quick on the table saw again, and I'll try not to bore you with my details of my tool this time. It's a dead 45, right? A 90 degree right here from this edge right here to that edge or that edge. So I know if I'm flush back here, I'm gonna cut a 90 out of there. Here we go. We cut real close. There was a little gap. Little gap on this side. Let's hit it again. We're cutting super smooth. I'm glad about what's going on right now. 90 degree angles make me happy. See if I can get you a little bit of closer view of it. There we go. And then that way you can see how tight our tolerances can be. Let's proceed with our cut. You see it. We haven't cut anything off of there, right? But we got two pieces with no gappage in between. All right. Back to me. All right, we back. Now, we got our wedges here. I always, in my brain, I'd be doing it backwards. Okay, that doesn't sound right. So I could put him right there and then always wedge tight. But I like this being a little bit mobile, I think. So I may need to figure out a way to keep him locked in place reliably somewhere, and this be sort of the mobile one because it reaches the front and the back of the desk. I wonder if this one might be in better shape at this point. No, they're about the same. They're about the same. So I've fiddled in my brain with the idea of putting in a couple of pins, aka a few dowels for that. And I do have some dowels here, some wooden dowels here somewhere in the shop. And I could just plug them in the back, set them down on it. And those dowels seem to hold pretty well. And they release fairly well without a whole lot of problems. So I'm going to try to find them. I don't know where the frig I put them. I thought they were here. I don't want to have to make dowels. Make dowels. Remember that from Coming to America? I don't want to have to make dowels. Okay. Bam. Found them. Found them. Now these are just 5/16 dowels, fluted wood. I use them in my contracting from time to time. And we're going to use some of these today. We need a Forstner bit or a drill bit that's that size, 5/16. We're going to try the Forstner first because the drill bits are outside in the rain in the truck. And I hope I can find something comparable. That's too big. These are definitely too big, too big, too big, too big. Más grande. Oh, 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 oh. Might be it. Is that it? What size is that? That's a quarter. That's a quarter, which is different than 5/16. But maybe we can route it out a little bit. Ream it a little bit. Because this is 3/8 and that's clearly too big as well. So we're somewhere in between there with the 5/16. Put away these, and maybe I've got one in my other set. This one is, can't see. Let's just press it up against. Bigger than that. Bigger than that. Too big. That's a 3/8, I think, as well. So I don't have the proper Forstner. Ah, man, I don't want to go outside. It's cold and raining. So I'm not going. Oh my God. I don't even have a drill in here. Oh, I'm gonna have to go outside. Freaking truck is up the hill and everything. Okay. We will go on an adventure together. Let me see. Oh, okay. Did you sort out your test, Rob? Rob didn't say. Does it got what you need? And it says you're only friends. I need an only friends account. See if I can get that big money. What's going on, Arami? How you doing? My coffee is wonderful today. I appreciate it. All right, we getting ready to go outside, man. I know y'all don't want to do it. Yeah. Do I even have an umbrella in here? I used to keep an umbrella in here. Don't see one. And I got these shoes on today. We gotta do what we gotta do. Let's go. Oh, my concrete is my bag of quickcrete. God, making a brick. Ugh. Shout outs to the trucker. Let's get back in the house. Don't fall in the grass. Don't get wet. Sliding down in my pocket. Slid down into my pocket. Ugh. Get out of there, you perv. What I don't do for y'all. I tried everything. Man up, I'm sure you're a sweet dude, but you're not sugar, you won't melt. Facts. Facts. JC, you spit nothing but the truth. The most running I've done in a while, yeah. That was me copping a field. See, I told you you'd be okay. I'm barely okay. I'm dying inside. All right, let's get that drill bit. Maybe something to power it. Let's see what I got here. Nap. There we go. Let's see. Those are whole bits, and those are drill bits. So rusty, I don't know if we can read any of them. You see how I treat my tools. That's a little big. If that's big, that's big, and that's too small. Get him out of the way. Free advertising at Home Depot. Maybe not. Let's see. That says 5/16. I can't remember if that's the number we were after. Where'd I put the 5/16? Absolutely. Looks as if we found a tomato, boy. Perfect. I'm going to set these Forstners to the side just in case I need to ream anything. All right. We're going to keep this as simple as possible. So I'm going to take this board. I'm going to take this vise off because I don't want this to be a part of it. If I can help it. If I have to, it'll be what it'll have to be. But I feel like if I can get this thing set up in a good way, I'll be okay. I'll be okay over here. It probably would behoove me to have a true 90 right here because I just don't want to be a scrub about it all. I'm being straight with you. But at the same time, let's just get it done. Let's just get it done. Let's put this boy to the side. Do we have a square nearby, a speed square, anything other than, well, we don't. We do have combination square. Sit it right here. Square that to the edge of our table. Good enough. And for now, even though we did not and do not want to put a clamp on everything, we're going to put a clamp on it just for now. For just a moment. Tighten that down on this side. I just don't want this moving. Drills create centrifugal force. I almost said centrifugal, which sounds like a bad infection you should get taken care of right away. Somebody ever diagnoses you with centrifugal force, either you've acquired superpowers or a super burn. We've got a drill. I think we're good to go. Drop that out. Now, you'd think I'd drill here first, but I'm not. I'm actually going to support and drill the unsupported area first. So, I think I'm going to go with 2 holes back here. I'm barely monitoring depth just because kind of guy I am. So it looks like that puts us about 1/2 inch into the bench. That ain't going in there. No way, no how. So maybe these holes ain't gonna line up like we want them. Well, line up, but maybe not lock in like we want. Let's try it. Now, 5/16 in metal and 5/16 in wood, expansion and contraction, so on and so forth, yada yada. That ain't the right size, quite obviously. It has come to all of our attention that ain't gonna fit. Now that 1/4 inch fit, so that's closer to what we probably got. But let's bump up our size, see if we can make a hole that makes us whole. No. All right, I'm gonna pull this one out, see what that does size-wise for us. These things always want to cut your hand. I don't even know why manufacturers do this. I mean, they got to be sharp, but come on, let them release, bro. So I don't have to tug on it with a tool and wreck the twist or the cutting edge, or have to put on safety equipment just to get it out of there. It's uncomfortable. All right, that ain't the right one. You ain't either. Let the sunshine. Let the sunshine. That's too big, like way too big. I got an idea. Sort of. I think I'm just missing the size that I need. But I've got an idea. First, see what we got on this side here. This we can live with. in the work. Put a little glue in there. Should work out all right. I'm going to do that 2 more times. This is not the most precise way to do a thing. I know it, but the most precise way is not available to me. I don't have a bit the same size as my thingamabob. And if you ever had the wrong size thingamabob, you know it can be a real problem. So, knock the dust out of these holes. See if we can get these two to wedge in there. Not quite. Not quite. Let me go a little more in there. All right. You hear that little twist? You hear that little that sound? So that lets us know we are crazy close to what we want. Here though, here and here, it's gonna be a little bit different. What I don't necessarily want is a problem to develop here. So I'm gonna put a little bit larger opening here. It's gonna allow for a little bit of flexibility, a little bit of expansion and contraction and such, but I'm not gonna go full depth. I'm gonna go as deep as this bit tell me to go. That thing pulled me straight down in there. So with those, I'm only going about 3/4 inch. And that's going to pull me down, back it out, ream it out. Okay. So that sends me down, but it gives me a little shoulder down there. I'm going to show you so you can see what I mean. Since we are improvising, I want you to see what I'm doing. I'm giving myself a little shoulder right there. But then I'm going to take that smaller bit and I'm going to ream that out, right? And that's going to create sort of a little wedge, a taper going down into that hole. And that's the taper will let me snug up. So where's my other bit? The narrow bit is what I need next. What do I do with it? I put it back in the thing? No, but I'll put this one back in the thing so that I don't forget and lose it twice. Sometimes I move faster than I can remember. It's good in an emergency, but in a planned circumstance, it's not the greatest. Oh, there it is, laying on the floor. All right, same thing here. So those go in there pretty tight. I don't necessarily want tight at the top. I want the tightness to happen as it drops down a little lower. And I want these just tight enough to hold in there, but not to go through. But I feel like I'm at the stage where I'm going to go ahead and put the glue on these real quick. So give me a quick second to find it or fetch it. We could go with wood glue, but we might be better off going something that dries a little faster than that. So let's do an epoxy real fast. Mix up a little piece. Tim Reed says sand the dowel. Exactly. That's a good answer. That also is a good answer. I do like the flutes on it, just because it makes it a little bit more flexible, a dowel, meaning those flutes will compress and whatnot and let me squeeze a little bit. Whew. Sneezing. We need what? A little mixer. A little mixer of the epoxy. A little mixer of the epoxy. Come on, I put the epoxy in its own special place. Over here. And now is it in there? Obviously not. I've misorganized my space yet again. It's all right, we're working on that day by day, week by week, month by ongoing, lagging, slow, barreling, lumbering. But really, I do need my epoxy. Where the frick is it? Am I going to have to abandon the epoxy? Oh, my God. Listen, y'all. I'm just fortunate that I got multiple options. Let's go ahead. Put us a little bit of this super glue all up in here. Let's just do it. Super glue. Soak in, baby. More of it. Just going to go right around that edge. And give that a lovely little tap. That looks good. Look straight down on it. Make sure we're not leaning one way or another. Like that. There we are. Give it a couple little squirty squirts. Squirt, squirt, squirt. All right. We got these two too. Do the same thing. Put some super glue. Some of y'all don't remember Scott LaRock, KRS-One. That's not your fault. Your mom and dad's fault. I really should have made a more sincere effort towards your hip hop education. All right, here we go. A little more. That looks good. Feels good. Glad. Now these dowels do have a little slight taper on the end, which does help them get in these spaces. And these flutes help them stay in those spaces. The super glue will keep it legit. And this is cedar, so cedar has potential splittability. So I am going to put a little bit right here on these edges where it could split potentially and just reinforce it a little bit because these are right at the edge. Now, I'm going to take another one of these same size dowels and just check these holes and see how far these go down off just pressure and pull out with just pressure. I got about that far. A little bit higher than what we wanted. This one went fine. So it means we just got to open these holes up just a little bit more so that they can go in there as deep as we want them to. And then we will put the vacuum on that. I think between these three holes, we should be able to stay relatively stationary with those 3 points of pivot. Well, not pivot. You know what I'm saying? Oh my gosh. I found the epoxy just now. The super glue should dry pretty fast in that this is some this wood has a certain amount of moisture in it, and that's what dries that stuff. But I thought I had some isopropyl alcohol nearby. I'm gonna drill bit back so I don't have another conniption fit the next time I need something. We're gonna let that dry a little bit while I put this stuff away, if you don't mind, just so that we can have a little less downtime of me looking for stuff again and again and again. And I appreciate and thank you for your unyielding, never-ending patience. You are my hero. Where doers get more done. I'm telling you, y'all need to find me and sponsor me. All of you. Let's see. Where is the alcohol though? Love to have it. Love to have it. I wonder if heat dries this any better. I don't know. But I can tell you this is a perfect time for me to go get some coffee. I will stay with the chat. I'll take my phone with me real quick. It's only going to be a second, but I'm going to get some coffee and come back. And I'll keep my microphone on too. When did I get in the pagan town? Jeez. Jeez. Gotta take the missus into work, but drop by to leave a like. Gotta go. Thanks, New Roots. Appreciate you, fam. Appreciate you. So sorry that awful joke has been in my head since the dowels came. Hilarious. Hey, if a dad joke ain't welcome here, I don't know where it is. So salute to you. Oh, let's get some more coffee. Daddy, you have a coffee cup? Have to stay caffeinated for sure. And you know, I drop a little sugar in mine and a little creamer in mine. Don't you come up with a new joke either. I won't tolerate it. Yeah. Let's go ahead. Oh, you can hear it. ASMR. I don't even know what that stands for. Refueled and ready to go. Sponsored by West Desert Instant Caffeinated Coffee. Slow brewed to perfection. Delicious. The best part of getting up in the morning and going to work is getting a call that you don't have to. But the second best thing is a great cup of coffee. West Desert. Have some Moretto Colombian light toast in the mug today. What are you sipping? Okay, Tim. Well, you know, I'm going with the classics today. Little Cafe Bustelo. You know, I like my coffee with a little bit of grrr, a little bit of in it. You know what I mean? But a Colombian light toast, that sounds divine, my friend. Sounds divine. Let me check and see if we are liquidy or are we just shiny. I think we're just shiny right now. I'm gonna do an old trick. Almost told the worst joke as soon as it came out of my mouth. Oh, another one. All right, let me chill. So what I'm gonna do is scoop up some of this sawdust. And this is just such a classic thing to do that works with almost any adhesive. If the dust or the sand or the dirt, even sometimes you let it get in there, and at the very least it'll keep the outside from being sticky, right? Because all the stuff will stick to it, and then you don't have to worry about it sticking to what you don't want it to stick to. In this case, it is definitely creating a nice bond. You can already feel it getting hard in there. So I think we're happy with, like, everything feels firm. This one actually has making a little cant right there that I need to pull off. I don't want a shoulder. All right, here we go. If we put those there and that there, oh man, did they make it? Does this one make it? This one feels like it moved a little bit. Make it a little wider. Okay. Hopefully that super glue's dry now and not stick this to the table permanent. Here we go. I'm going to use the leather side of my mallet for this one. I don't think that needs to be any tighter than that. Oh! I pegged my board. Look at that. It broke off. Right in the holes. It held into the glue. And then the pegs broke just because they were too tight. Bummer. Experiment number 224 is a failure. Get out of there. Now it's like, do I need to actually plug them holes? Yeah. Yeah. So maybe these aren't going to be reliable enough if we're trying to hold it down like that. What if I put this in here? That's like, that was almost it. I just did too much. I think I just did too much. Let's undo what we did right quick. Pop him in. It's gonna still mean I gotta drill those two out. Do it from the opposite side with the narrower bit. Remember, this one's a little small, the other's a little big. We're improvising. You ever want to know if these things hold? They do. That thing stopped. It's been a hole and it's drilling and trying to get through it. So it's holding. It's holding. Man, that glue is stronger. This is much more difficult than just drilling straight through that wood. So that's good. So we have our original holes without necessarily compromising them. I'm going to cut that little bit off right there. Look how strong that is. I wonder if I use like a metal something would be better. I wonder. I'm going to put this larger bit in again. I'm going to sink it. And we're gonna see. Maybe we'll do it with the epoxy this time. Have a little bit more control. Now that we have the epoxy available to us. And the epoxy will also fill in sort of our gap. So I've got dowel here. I need 2 more. Where you at? Where you at? A freestyle session sometimes means we have to figure it out, family. Well, it always means that. Just always means that is what I should say. I'm gonna go smaller again. See if I can get that to the bottom. Knock them shoulders down. Okay. I'm gonna put it over top of that because that's where we're mixing, right? And then we're just gonna pour it down in there. Give you a good perspective. Mix will be simple. This is a 50-50 epoxy. A glob of this and a glob of that, and that's it. And it smells wonderful. Now we just need something to mix it up with. We just need something to mix it up with. Always something nearby. And this, I think, is 5-minute epoxy. It shouldn't take much longer than that to set up once we get it mixed in our holes. Should be good to go. And I'm just going to make sure that I'm over top of, because these holes go all the way through. I just want to make sure I'm over top of my my already glued up circumstance or taped up circumstance. I'm going to fill that. And I'm going to just set it in there and try to get it as centered as possible, like before. Don't know how perfect it'll be. We'll adjust our holes if we need to, but we'll try not to stress our dowels out again and break them off. We obviously did that the last time. And into whatever little grooves and nooks I see around that perimeter. Get as much of it in there as possible. And since that's happening, I'm going to do a quick tape over on the back side of both of these fast as I can so it don't run out and I don't stick somewhere I don't want to stick to. And there go both of my dowels. Get in a hole. Sometimes a freestyle sesh goes wild, like those girls in the 90s. going around this entire thing. Much as I can. Even use that tape to my advantage. I don't know of any conflicts in this old super glue that's probably in this hole and the epoxy, but I'll let you know if there's any chemical reactions. And if I do convert into a superhero as a result, I'll probably be a supervillain. I apologize in advance, but I want to be honest with you. I'll first go avenge my my old cell phone carriers. See if I can get my money back on my subscriptions to Planet Fitness. And have a conversation with YouTube about my. I'm full of forethought today. I'm a tight bond guy, but I keep a small bottle of Gorilla Glue that puffs up a little bit for cuts for a reason. Yeah. Well, I'm just getting through it, man. You know, we're just figuring it out. We're just figuring it out. So we got a little while on that dry. I think, you know, what is it? Generally 5 minutes. So for the next 5 minutes, what do you guys want to talk about? Yesterday, we talked about some real estate investment, which I did enjoy so much. So we need to vacuum out our holes too. Let's see. You were something fixating your health? I don't know what that means, Tim. You done went over my head, brother. I am not a smart man. If that was my movie, that would have been the end of it. I'm not a smart man. And then everybody would have nodded in agreement, and the credits would have ran. Also could use some vacuuming on my sander. That thing is crazy right now. Let's go ahead and clean it up since we're here. No point in wasting time. Let's see if we have done enough time. It's slightly sticky tacky, but slightly. Definitely not runny. All right, throw that in the trash. That's there. And is there any more sanding debris that we can sprinkle, cut down on our ticky tackiness? Yes, I say. Yes, I say. If that don't stick to it, well, then it's not going to stick to the desk. I think we've learned not to apply pressure to our rig. Not too much anyway. Maybe we could have learned we don't need that much depth either. So let's see if we can get rid of it. Some of it. Sheesh. That could have been skin. It could have been mutilated. Starting to lose my faith in dowels. These things are breaking off pretty easy. But they're shorter, they'll be stronger. This is the way of the world. If you didn't know, West Desert taught you. All right, looking at it, these two up there fit in great. This one right here seems to be shifted slightly, like it needs to come back towards me. The hole, I mean. What I did was unconventional and weird. And that's normal for me. All right, so now this is in there. It's in there. It's not moving back or forward. And it's easy to come out. That's what we wanted. That is what we wanted. Now, what else do we want? We want the ability to wedge and tighten like so. So if I put this here, that'll let me hold anything all the way up to that size. Pretty small. I can go even smaller and go there. If and I wanted to, and I think I shall. So we're going to fasten this one down to the table. In a sense. Basically, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to go through. With a goddamn hole. And another. Now, and what I'm doing is burning through this thing because my bed is getting dull. And getting hot a little bit. That's okay. Woo! Till it hits your glove. Now, the reason I use the smaller bit is because, again, I don't want my plugs to pass through entirely here. But down here, they're just markers for my larger bit that I'm going to go through, which seems to work better than the one that actually fits or matches up numerically. So, right here. Once again, another brilliant reason for a wooden tabletop desk. Let's hope we get the same orientation. Not likely, but we'll be close. All right. Gonna hit the vac and suck them out because we don't want to compress that sawdust. All right. I think the light duty gloves don't hold up quite as good for me. I think I'm gonna have to go back to the medium duty because these are getting torn up by those drill bits, man. We're gonna make some more epoxy. We're gonna put some more plugs in like so. It's gonna basically sit like this. Boom, 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 boom. All right. And we'll cut out what don't work. You feel me? Back to some yellow tape. Love the versatility of the tape. Epoxy scenario is such a good hack. This one I do all the time. I don't do a lot of things we call hacks around here, but using the tape as a temporary place to mix your epoxy is a magnificent way to go. So we're just going to butt up next to it. Mix, mix, mix. Mooks, mooks, mooks. Now, let's revisit our last mistake and plug these holes on the back side so that we don't end up with spillage. Using enough over there. All right. So I'm going to just scoop the hole over here to it. Right. Roll that flute around in that epoxy. It's heavily coated. Press down and see if I can sort of squeegee the remnants back to the crack, because it is still a liquid. It will run down into there, and that is what we want. Slide this one down. And again, I'm trying to attract the epoxy down into the hole and allow the space to run down the flutes of the dowel itself. I'm just kind of turning it and wiggling it to get some air pockets out so I can let that material work its way down into there. And what I'm also just going to do is pull that material upwards a little bit. That'll do two things. One, get it off the face, which I don't want it on the face. I want this to be able to sit as flat as possible once the epoxy dries. But it's also going to work the epoxy into the dowel above the surface, which will make it stronger. Since we're going to be pulling these in and out of these openings, we want them to go in easy, but we also want a good fit. So we want them as strong as we can make them. And epoxy soaking into this wood will help make them a little bit stronger. And again, I'm trying to make sure I keep as centered as possible, as upright as possible, as plumb as possible. I don't know that that's crucial, but it's better. That is part of it, is to try to do something better. It does seem like I've got enough in there now, and I don't want to move them around too much while they're drying. I'm going to try not to agitate them too much as they're setting up. I do want to confirm all of them are setting up at a good 90. What up, Jesse? Two dudes. How you doing? Jack in the cabinet shop, always put a piece of masking tape around the bit as the depth we wanted. Yeah, I can usually eyeball that. I don't generally have to go as specific. Sometimes I do. And when I do, that's absolutely what you do. That's a smart thing to do. And it's fast and easy and clever and exact even. So 100% on that one, Jack. Double tap the screen, says Tim. Appreciate you, man. You can round that front corner where it's hitting, he says. Lloyd is in the building. What's up, Lloyd? I'm sorry I missed you. Tim Reed, these are the safetiest Crocs that ever safetied. I got them from my wife. I stole them. So I'm just waiting for these to get firm enough, strong enough, where we can go ahead and cut off the tip of them, and then we can drop them into that hole right here, get our wedge going. Another thing we can be doing, whilst I'm getting that wedge going, I'll do here, and I'll do now. I've got a couple of these pieces of sandpaper. I've got quite plenty of sandpaper, truthfully. What I'm going to do is put some of it on this edge so that I can grab the material with it. It'll be sort of a something to bite, so to speak. Bite into that material. I want 100 grit or something like it. This is 120 grit, but I don't want one that's been wet sanded. I think I want something, like I said, close to 100. What is this purple stuff? Sunny D. This is it. This is about it. So let's get. Do I have scissors nearby? Yes, I do. So here's what I'm going to do. Take these scissors. And I'm going to cut me relatively close strips. That's already too foregone to use. This stuff isn't. I have many glues. How many glues do I use on the daily? Many money. I said many money. All right, so we want this flat surface to be a glued surface. Not just any old glued surface. We want it right. We also want to do the same thing here. So I'm going to spread that with my gloved finger because I'm a rebel, Dottie. God dang rebel. And I'm also going to spread it on this, whatever's left over from that edge. We got a lot of stuff going on here, some chemicals and whatnot. Remember to mask up. Remember to stay well ventilated. Keep your safety at the forefront of any of this stuff. If it's for fun, funner when you're healthy. If it's for profit, healthcare is at an all-time high. Preventive maintenance is a sound financial choice. So either way you slice it, take care of yourself. All right, that's drying up, and that's drying up. That takes considerably less time. This may be 10 minutes, maybe less. I can stick these two together and have me some taper right there. Fact, could do it right here too, but I really probably should just shave that because that's not clean edge right here. So I may work that out um, while this stuff dries. I'm always doing something. Let's get a big chisel. Let's get a big chisel. Bigger. Bigger than what we got at the table now anyway. And let's go ahead and try to clean that up. Now, weird thing is we actually need the device that we're making to do this task. It would be much better. But good sharp chisel might get us by today. Ooh. Might get us by today. Let's go ahead and reverse that, see if we can start cutting up so we don't dig too deep into that material. Weren't as clean as we were anticipating. All is not lost. A nice sharp chisel. We can get there. We're woodworking during the woodworking, in which we're building the woodworking tools to do the woodworking. That's what we do around here. So, let's see if this is ready or not. Here I come. You can't hide. Burn, 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 burn. Let's slice that right there because we got a crease on that side. And I don't want a crease. I don't want a joint. What I do not mind though, I'm gonna go a little bit over that edge because I want to keep it nice and clean. Go a little over that edge right there. Fasten that down. I'm gonna bring this piece, also glued, right there. Butt up right to it. Make sure I cover my edge on both sides. All right. Now, since I got you here, we're going to use one of my tools I made. This is a nice little little knife I made. Am I going in my holes? Yeah, I'm going in my holes. And it gives me the room to reach all the way back here and not have to be snug. Put my hand up against my material. And that gives me some room to work precisely. The same thing over here. Same tool, nice sharp blade, nice clean edge. I'm just gonna cut right along that material. And over here, we got a little bit hanging over the edge. That's not gonna be a problem either. And get both of them out of there. And that's going to leave us there. That is super fun. This is going to be good. Now, the reason I put that sandpaper there is the same way I use my sandpaper over there on my sled. These should be dry by now. Let me get my what do I do with my in my lap? Good. Go ahead and clean any little glued on extras that got stuck onto this thing. Get them off. I'm gonna clean off and get rid of our temporary glue station. We got our 3 pegs. We got our 3 holes. Boom, boom, boom. See if this works. That's in place. Will it move? No. Not left, right. Not front, back. Fantastic. Now, this one is almost ready. We can drill our holes deeper, or we can cut our pegs shorter. I'm going to cut the pegs shorter. And we remixed this and made this into a good saw. Now we can use it. Thank you for the 61 likes. I don't want to act like I don't appreciate that or acknowledge it. Those likes really do help me get seen in the algorithm. And any of y'all who have the foresight and interest in doing that, I appreciate it. It really helps. And I know you've heard it before, but it's the truth. It helps. And obviously, and I want you guys to think about this, not because it's just my channel, but unless you have 100,000 subscribers and every video is doing in the hundreds of thousands of views, you're not making a living on YouTube. None of them. None of us are making a living on YouTube. We're earning a living somewhere, and then we're also doing YouTube. So when you like it, or you subscribe, or you become members, it does help. And it's a great service that you're doing for whatever channel that you're supporting in that. And now I'm up off that soapbox. I won't bug you again about memberships and stuff, but had to do it once. All right, here we're going to go with this 80 grit, and we're going to just taper around these edges. Get all that excess that I got with the saw. All those little frayed edges. And let me just taper the top. No big deal. I'm not in a huge hurry because I still, dry is dry, but dry is not cured. So we don't want to put too much pressure on this epoxy yet. So I'm going to be a little delicate. And that's why I'm using the 80, because it'll sand without a lot of pressure. And I don't know if you noticed, this is all very cheap stuff. This is not, I haven't used $5 worth of material yet on this project. And all the things that I've used, epoxy, this little sander, my saw. These are $2, $4, $9 tool. Now, you're not going to see a handle like that on the $9 tool because I made it. But you can take a $9 tool, put a handle on it, and make it just as functional as this one is, if you like. And I'd encourage you that if you're interested in woodworking, right, which I'm thrilled if you are, I would suggest, it's going to work. I would suggest that all those little videos that say that you're going to get rich and how to keep these things from flying off the shelf. I get all of these crazy videos come up on my feed. And I can see very clearly those guys make the bulk of their money from you watching videos saying that they make these and they fly off the shelves and which is cool, but it's not true. If you want to sell woodworking, you need to make something good. And then you need to make something so good that you believe in it. And you need to price it in a way that you can afford it. If you were in the market for it, and build it in the kind of quality that you would get value for it if you were in the market for it. I'm a contractor, and I've worked personal and investment properties for over 30 years. What I can promise you is not one single investor, nor myself, who actually makes money from flipping properties has the time or will or inclination to teach it for a living. The guys that are teaching it aren't doing it. They might have learned it. They're not doing it. And it's too much to give in a little couple-day seminar. Every career path in every genre takes time to learn to be good at it. And you need to be good at it to be profitable and to be sustainably profitable. It's annoying to see that stuff on the internet all the time. You can make a lot of money. I can't stop selling these. I make a lot of money, have made a lot of money woodworking, technically. And that is building decks, framing houses, doing things like that. Because people need those things. People need those things. What people don't need is wooden towel holders all over the place. And nobody buys them. You don't have a whole bunch of wooden towel holders in your house. You watch those videos to learn how to use your tools. That's the best part about those kinds of videos. You learn how to use your tools by making that stuff. But I've been on Facebook Marketplace often enough to see somebody take a 4x4, cut it into pieces, try to make coasters and sell them for $20. And those coasters aren't worth the drive to go pick them up. Because you can go to Target and get them super cheap. And they've got engraving and all kinds of stuff on them. So why would they come buy your cheap framing lumber material? Makes no sense. Businesses have to be sustainable. You have to figure out what's your niche, what's your genre, what's your thing. This little piece right here, I'm going to stick it. Ugh. Found a flaw in the design. That wedge works, but they lift. Starting to lift. How can I prevent that? How can I prevent lift here? If that pushes that way, that wedges that up. How can I get that to wedge that down? I taper that way, and it does it. It'll wedge. Maybe. Let's see if it works this way first. For this little bitty piece. No. Oh, dang it. I feel like I might have to put a screw in these. Whew. All right. Let's do it. Make a little hole so I can countersink. Same here. Those are near the places where I'm going to get the pressure. And again, congratulations on being smart enough to have a wooden top on your bench. Because now you can just put a screw in there and it really ain't a big deal. So I'm going to go with a simple little drywall screw. Already got right here set up. Hopefully it won't split my wood up too bad. I'm not going to crank it down because I want to use it again. And I'm going to have to use that hole again. So I want just enough pressure for it to grab. But I don't want enough pressure for it to like forcibly hold it heavy. All right, let's try it again. That's tight. Comes out that way. Goes in that way. Nice and tight. I'm moving the whole bench. So I had to do some work on that. I could do some work on it. Looks like we figured it out. Looks like we figured it out. Now, this concept is so simple and it works so well. I don't know why nobody does it this way. All right, this way. So what I'm going to do now, try to figure out how to turn this wedge situation into a pull situation. And all I got to do basically is reverse this. That's awesome. Pull that back out. So good. So what if that were there and this wasn't? Like now it's this. But what if it was this? Which would be, right? Give me a sec. Give me a second while I think it through. So that would be the pull this way. So it just means I could put another on this side over here. Pardon my coffee. It's still so goddamn good. If I could put another one here, that when I pulled it, it would just wedge that way. Like that. So when I pulled, hey babe. Yeah. So I can use the same piece in theory for that. And I can just fasten it over here on this side. This is exciting. And I'm sorry it's bugging you. Okay, I'll be right back. Hey Dad, it's Surrey, how you doing? Yeah, exactly. So I can turn it around. But I'm going to drill these holes because I want to be able to, you know what I'm saying? Lock it in there. Grab that joint. But I got to go let my wife out of the driveway because she can't drive. I'll be right back. Hold on 1 second. In the meanwhile, hit the like button. That's a good girl. Maybe that gave us enough time to think about what we've done here. All right, let me scooch that back. I got to figure out how to make 3 marks underneath this that match these 3. And I guess I'm going to say the simplest way for that to happen might be with a little paint. And that ain't paint. This is paint. All right. I'm gonna put a little drip right on the edge. These I'm going to be as approximate as possible. I'm going to try to get it right. Straight down. Boom. One of them went. Two of them went. Third one did nothing. Oh man, messed it up. All right, we're gonna try it. Drill these holes, make it happen. Because we are being approximate anyway. We're gonna use the same holes. Where's my bit? Where's my bit? Where's my bit? All right. I'm Russian. No, I'm not. I'm American. No, I'm not. I'm African American. No, I'm not. I'm Native African American. How complex a human being. What's not complicated is why the frick have I lost the bit for this already? I just keep losing stuff. Quite frustrating. So here, I'm going to hit the spots. See if it works. We're going to have to make it work. That's all the battery we got. It's all over after this. Power's done. Didn't want that gone. Need my Sharpie back. Pretty wet back. All right. Let's see if it worked. We got in that hole. That one needs to be further over this way. Up to the right. Do we have it? All right, now back to our screw. And what we're going to do, crank that tension all the way down. Why? So that we don't overscrew this. That's a little under. Now, if that's the case, and that's the case, and this is the case, and we need to pull something with our spoke shave, Does this do the job? Ooh, certainly felt like it did. Oh, it's sliding down. God bless America. All right, I flipped the thing over to the thing, so I gotta pick some stuff up. I'm not gonna leave these dowels laying on the floor. Shop is messy enough, but it looks like all we need is to do what we already did and put sandpaper along that edge, and that'll give us what we want, since we don't have a stop on this side like we do over there. But I wonder if we could put a stop, right? If that would help. Not as much as sandpaper would. All right, so let's get some more of it. We got it right here. We can pull that out and we can run it right on this edge. Or we can just glue it right there in place. I do want to lift this off so that we don't create a new problem. Where is a screwdriver? So with 3 pieces of scrap wood, now we've got a wedge vise and we've got a way to spoke shave, a shave horse, sort of, right? I won't pretend like it's the greatest thing that's ever been done, but it's like top 5 all time greatest things that have ever been done. I think is a fair statement. You know, make it like a jig on plywood and I can move it. Yeah, well, this is sort of that, because this tabletop I do move, can move, and I've got a couple of them that are better at specific tasks that I've made over the last couple months, but none of them are as good as this one or have as much diversity as this one. A little bit wider, a little bit broader, so I'm going to try to keep it as my do-all if it's possible. So again, I'm just spreading this along the back side. This is just 100 grit sandpaper, not wet dry or anything particularly special, but 100 grit will grab almost anything pretty firmly, and that's all I want. That's all I want. And rubber cement is no joke. You really do have to let it cure a little bit, get dry a little bit, and then you attach, and it works much better than if you try to stick it on while it's still moist. You want it tacky. So while that's happening, we still got this side to deal with. We still got some sandpaper right here. And I'm going to take advantage of that and taper these edges a little bit too, because they work both ways, you know what I mean? But the tapering is a way to get the jig to go in quick and easy without a lot of stress and tension. We don't want stress and tension on our jigs. And I don't like downtime. If I'm waiting on something to dry, I want something else to do. And if there is something else to do, it's a perfect time to do it. Hope y'all are having a good Sunday and enjoying your time off if you're getting some. Did I see that Mike Epps opened a boxing gym in Indy? I did see that. I did see that. I like that dude. My brother actually has a deal in place with Mike Epps that if you bring certain things to him financially, he gets a percentage of. And Mike was buying up houses in Indy um, to renovate. I kind of wanted to get in on it, but I don't want to go to Indiana. I don't. My ex-wife is from there. I, I didn't like it. I did not like it at all. But as I said, my ex-wife is from there, so. But yeah, I'm glad to see it. I'm glad to see it. I think Mike is a great guy. I think he's getting his head on a lot tighter than it once was, and I'm glad to see it because he's a phenomenal guy. So, what we're attempting to do, y'all, let's check and see if we're tacky. What we want to be is tacky, not wet. Tacky. Where you go, nothing comes up, but you can feel some resistance. Feeling a little tacky, a little tacky. And now the placement. Let me just put that on slow. Roll it down. And it stops where it stops. I'm hanging over a little bit on both sides, as I tend to do. What I'm going to do here is just shave off top of that. Right. Oh, that didn't work great. Didn't work bad. Just to clean up that edge a little bit. John Parham in the building. I didn't even say what's up to you, John. You snuck in here. You snuck in here. But I'm glad to see you today. Hope you're having a good Sunday. I don't know if I saw Jay this morning. Brother Jay. Box Center. Family. Look at that bad boy. Ugh, sophistication class. We try to do the designer stuff over here. We try to just bump it up a little bit. And then we're just going to give it a nice little slice-a-roni. Clean edges. Now, if you didn't know, man, sandpaper is a fantastic way to get good grip. To get good grip. Anywhere you need fast grip, sandpaper is your friend. So, I'm going to start keeping these in this jig. So, the way this is going now. All right, so now I'm in the wood. Not going to press it super hard. Not going to do no extras. Call it what you want to call it. I'm an alcoholic. All right. Sandpaper on each side. Let's see if it did what we wanted it to do. Be a little embarrassing if it don't. But we have learned. We will have learned. So where the heck did I do spoke shape? Okay, right here. Look at that. I want a little extra out of it. I mean, I ain't gonna tell you what to do with your life. But here's what you could do. And I don't need now a big giant shave horse, like a secondary bench with a big old chunky piece of lumber and a hinge, and I don't have to do that now. Now, mind you, I don't know how big a lumber this is going to do, right? Certainly not going to hold this, right? But it would hold this handle, right? And I could just move it out, or I could just make it thicker. I could put other stuff on top. I could stack it. But conceptually, this works. I can just use two bigger pieces. Danny Lloyd, dulling your chisel. What are you talking about, bud? Explain to me what you're talking about. I seen the X-Acto knife sheath video. I heard about folks doing something like that in jail with playing cards and saran wrap. I gotta say, the weirdest thing I think I've ever even heard of on the internet is that I'm making knives and I get more people responding about jail than I've ever seen anywhere else. Like, I've had an X-Acto knife since high school, since art school, as a contractor, and everybody's like, "Oh, it's a shank. You could use it." Like, what do you? I don't know. I don't like being associated with jail, so I'm speaking on experience, not on just BS saw. Yeah, but like, who needs? Like, who's here? Like, that's a good idea for when I get locked up. I can get some playing cards and figure out how to be a weirdo. You enjoying this but don't know how to put a like on it? Well, I'm just the guy for you. Okay, see that screen? Boom, 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 boom. Tap it twice, it'll like. Now, sometimes they'll pause, right? So what you see that little heart right there? You can hit that heart. It'll bring that up. Once you hit that, for whatever reason, it makes your phone able to like it. Tap twice, boom, boom. Not for me because I'm, on the thing. But even if you wanted to, what you could do is, wait, go to the video. I'm going to turn it sideways. Maybe it'll give me the thing. Because what I'm trying to do is reduce the chat so that I can see it and show you how. Okay. I hit the three buttons up here in the top corner. I'm going to do it again. Right up there. Boom. Pull up that menu. First thing is a little thumb. Boom. Like this. Worked. Hit the screen again. Boom. Goes away. But you could hit the screen like that and do any of these things. But there you go. Thank you for caring enough to go through the effort of mentioning to me that you wanted to like it and couldn't figure it out. That is top shelf watchmanship. I thank you for that. I did it with pens too because they couldn't let us keep the plastic around the pen. Man, you are one tough dude. You are one tough dude. I'm sorry that you had the experience to have to learn how to protect yourself with varying random objects. I don't think if you're not a direct threat to other human beings' lives and well-beings, I don't think anybody deserves to be in a cage. Unless those conditions exist. Most times they don't seem to. I got another thing about, like, see how that's kind of doing that? I wonder if I put a little bar across there, if that would prevent that from happening. I've got more stuff. I've got more scrap. I don't like things that sort of work. I want them to work. So maybe I'll cut that off right there. Boom. Be right back. Go over to the table saw. Cut it down, cut it down. Where's the drill at? Right here, sir. Bring it about, boy. Yes, sir. Sorry, y'all. I've been watching Game of Thrones. Doggone British accents be locking me in. I think I'm gonna go down about that deep. Oh yeah. I'll do it again, as far as I can. Oh yeah. It seems like it's getting complicated, but it's not. What I will do is promise that I will do a short showing how all of this came together, and I'll put a little detail in it, so that if you do want to build this after the fact, you can see it, and you can. Now you could also just scroll through this thing and do it that way, but you know, to each his or her own. Some people learn differently than others. So I'm gonna pop this in. As an option. Then I'm gonna put one over here. Or should I put one in over there? I may not need it. If that's enough pressure, that might hold. Because I want this to not lift up, right? And that keeps it from lifting up. That's a lot of pull I'm putting on that. Sort of the Achilles heel of the circumstance. I move that back. That's pretty good. Let me put a little bit of back pressure on that screw. Gotta let that happen. Gotta let me turn it this way. Once I got all my crap out of the way. What that'll also allow me to do, put the whole situation back over here as well and wedge that way. That's good. Let's see how quick let's see how much time it takes to convert this from one thing to the other. Say I'm over here, spoke shaving it up, right? Get good. We want to do something on the other side now. Let's start our clock. 1 1000, 2 1000, 3 1000, 4 1000, 5 1000, 6 1000, 7 1000, 8 1000, 9 1000, 10 1000, 11 1000, 12 1000, 13, 14, 15 1000, 16 1000, 17 1000, 18 1000, 19 1000, 20. Good. We can do what we want. We got to push. We got a way to push. We need to pull. We got a way to pull. I'm going to tell you, I'm pretty happy. with how this turned out. It's not overly complicated. It does have a couple screws in my desk, but only 2. And they're only going down about yay far. Come right back out. Not a problem, and it's just to keep them from folding out, keeping my tension good. I'm happy with this. I don't think I need anything else on this side. I want it to be extra secure over here. Push it up against that edge. And I can be pretty aggressive. Where could I DM you a picture? I found my pen from jail. Look at my community page. You can post on my community page. You can post your own photos and stuff. I got locked over with one dude's testimony and circumstance. I thought I was innocent until proven guilty until I got into the system. Man, once you're in the system, that's it. That's it. It's a crap game at that point, and it's not in your favor. But man, I think we made an accomplishment here, and I'm so proud of it. I think I need to do me a little video of it, and I think I will. And any of y'all who want to come back and watch this and see how I did it, then awesome. I'm super excited about how it worked out. I'm going to try it with a little bit narrower piece of wood and then with a little bit bigger piece of wood, see how it does. If I go with something this thin, let's see if it holds it. Yes. Yes. Pulls right out. Let's see. If I go with something this big, will it hold it? Not as good. Not as good. I may have to make a couple of holes where I can open it up in multiple sizes or multiple widths. But for what I've got now, that's going to do the job. I'm not cutting that on purpose because I want this piece of wood. This is Lay's wood. Got that from Eco or K McCall, who is dope. And if you get a chance, go check them out. I get most of my exotic looking wood from him because he's dope and my friend, and he looks out for me. All right. So anyways, thank y'all, man, for hanging out with me. I really did have a good time with y'all. I really did try to. Oh, you DM me on IG? That'll work too. Right on. Looks like I got a keeper. I think so, Jesse. I think I figured something out. Yeah. So I'm going to go upstairs and celebrate my wife. She's not going to be interested at all in this, but she's so encouraging. She'll act like she is, and sometimes that's all I need. Till then, man, I'll see y'all later. I might be back later on today. Let's not forget, I got this girl for giveaway on my community page. If you want to go by and see it where my posts are, and you can comment and let me know that you would like it or to be in the drawing for it, which is going to happen really soon, within the next day or two. And this is a modified spoon knife. Started off very inexpensive tool, and we've worked it into a little bit more functional tool, and it looks cool. And this handle is unique. That'd be cute in your shop, right? All right, so you can go to that post and let me know you want to be in the drawing, and you will be. Anybody who is already a member to the channel, you get put in there. And if you say you want to be put in there, you get put in there twice because you're a member. And I appreciate you. Subscribers will get put in there when they say, hey, I want to be on there. And that's how it's going to go this time. Thank everybody for showing up, hanging out, and being an encourager to me. I hope I've been an encourager to you. Hope you have a great day. I'm out of here. Wes does it.